Hi guys, Win Padini here from Saastribe, and today I'm going to be reviewing Consolto, which is a tool that does video and text chat in different formats. I'll talk about those in just a moment. It also enables you to manage scheduled free and paid consulting sessions. All right, so this would replace tools and subscriptions like Zoom, like Calendly, and maybe you're using a shopping cart system like Thrivecart for collecting payments. So let's get into the details of that now.
Be strong.
So you can see the inside of my Consolto account here. It's pretty easy to set up. So I'm using Google Tag Manager to install mine. Let's have a look at that real quick. But before we do that, let's look at the back end here. So you put in your image, your first name, last name, country, notifications. So you can get notified by chat, by call, by form, by SMS, and by email. So it's up to you how you do that. It also integrates with WhatsApp, which is cool, and Messenger, really powerful. Partnerships, so that's affiliate stuff. Let's go into the team center, and this is where you, if depending on the membership level that you've got, you can add team members. So you can see my team members in there, and then you can see what the widget looks like as well. So if you're only using this for yourself on your website, then you won't have this team screen. So if it's just you, then installation is down the bottom here, and then you grab this installation code. Click on the copy one, I think, and then you embed that. So let's go to Google Tag Manager real quick. Wrong Google Tag Manager. So I've created a tag in Google Tag Manager called Consolto, and I've embedded the embed script here. So this is what the embed code looks like for the team. If you're, like I said, if you're doing this for just one person, then your code will look slightly different from mine. And I have that firing on all pages. Now you don't need to use Google Tag Manager. If you've got WordPress, if you've got a normal website, you can simply put this code into the head or even into the body of the page. Depends how quickly you want it to load, and the script will load up. Okay, so back to Consolto. So we have the team settings. Let's go back to that. Am I on the right one? No, wrong one. Team settings. That's where you add your team. They get an invitation email that they can accept, and then they join in here. This is what the widget looks like. So you can show or hide the widget. You can determine which pages this shows on. So if you're not using something like Google Tag Manager, I'm using Google Tag Manager to figure out which pages to show this widget on, which in this case I'm showing it on all pages. And then you can kind of put in place these roles to determine which agents show, whether they're active or not, whether they're available or not. So that's where you set those settings. Then you can choose the style. So you can see over here in the right hand side what that looks like. So if I go to measure bit, let's have a look at what this looks like here. So we've got a lot of grays and greens on this page. I'm just going to move my face over here. And so I've chosen a red scheme for this because I want this to be one of the main calls to action on the page. I really do want that conversation because these conversations are high value for us. They can be worth thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars for the right conversations. Okay, so then we choose where we want to show it, whether it's in the middle, whether it's on the side. You can change this text here. Let's change that. Let's talk, capital T. I could have changed that to blue or yellow or green, but red is the one that's going to pop, I think, for our current theme. Then you can change all these other configurations. You can also change the color of the text, the background, etc. You've got integrations with Google Analytics. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Google Analytics 4 at this point. And you can also do API calls. So you can pick up on these different actions. So let's say that you do want to report those actions to Facebook, to Google Analytics 4, to any other CRM system. If you know a bit of JavaScript or you hire a JavaScript coder, you can pick up on those actions here. Here's the instructions for how to interact with their API, to listen for those events, and here it is. Here's the instructions. These are the events that are going to get pushed into back into the data layer or into the DOM for JavaScript, and that's how that works. So pretty powerful. Probably an understated feature, but quite powerful in terms of how you use this. Now, you're saying, well, why would I care about that? Well, let's say you have a CRM and a lead goes from being a prospect to a lead, or from a lead to being a qualified lead to marketing qualified or sales qualified. Those transitions in the sales pipeline steps are really, really important. So that's one important use. Another important use is to then create retargeting audiences. So somebody's visited your page, but you know that the next meaningful action that they can take is to have a conversation. So then you would retarget those visitors in order to then get them back and maybe take them back to a specific page where you can have a conversation with them. Or let's say that they've triggered a conversation but they haven't taken the next step. Let's say it's to book a free call, not just a chat, but to schedule an actual Zoom call. Or you don't actually need Zoom if you're doing one-to-one video calls. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's say that they schedule a call and you know that you know your customer lifetime value based on that call. So you could retarget people based on that. Okay, so that's the power of this. We won't get into too much more of that. And then for the team widget, if you're wanting to install that team widget, so if I open up this one here, I've got to move my face again, click on that, and this is what it looks like. So we have 3 team members. It does show that I'm the only one available. You can see how the text bubble for me is showing as green. So I'm the one that's showing up on the top. That's how the filter works. We have Alex and we have Saastribe there. Neither of those are available. That's why they're showing down here. If I click on that, now I've got configured, I've got chat, I've got schedule a call, I've got WhatsApp, and I've got Messenger, and I've got video call. If I click on video call, at the moment, this is only available in calling. Anyway, I'm going to turn that off. So that's the sound that comes through to you when somebody's calling you. I'm going to allow this. So let's go back to those settings a little bit. I think that's worth going in a bit more deeper into. Call ended, so that came through. I go to here, notifications. So where did I see that? Integrations, 3D Sense, money transfer, widget center, automatic messages, communication. Here we go, communication. So this is where you set up how you want people to be able to contact you. So if you want people to be able to call your mobile phone, this is where you turn it off and on. I've turned that off for now because I'd rather people come through the online chat. If you want people to be able to contact you through a contact form, you can do that too. You can see here that I've got WhatsApp and Messenger enabled, and I've got chat and video chat as well. So I feel as though that's a redundant enough action set that people should be able to get a hold of me, and you can see how that then shows up with these over here. So if I add the phone again, now we have the phone symbol showing up there. Okay, let's have a look at advanced features. What we haven't talked about is the calendar. Let's talk about that real quick. So you can integrate your calendar with this. I don't know why that's not showing up right now. I guess that's schedule requests. So this is not as advanced as Book Like a Boss, Boss's backend, but it's still decent. I don't know what this agenda is. Calendar. So there's your calendar. Settings. Let's see what these settings look like. So you can set your availability. Once again, this is not as kind of granular as Book Like a Boss's calendar, but I imagine that they're just getting started with this, and they'll probably make that more in depth over time. So you can see that I've set between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. Unfortunately, I work with international clients in the UK and the US. I'm based in New Zealand, so I've got to be able to give them a chance to be able to talk with me. So I'm kind of like out of sync with most of the world, unfortunately, which is why I have my availability set like that. I got my calendar integrated with Google, which is cool. In the roadmap, and so at the time of recording this video, you can integrate with multiple calendars, but that's something that is coming. It's on their roadmap, and that will be a lot handier because I want things that are showing up on either of my calendars. I have 2 or 3 main calendars that I manage, and I want things that show up on any of those calendars to show up as not being available for this booking. Okay, and so you can set your time zone. You can set whether or not those meetings are automatically accepted. I've turned that off because I want to be able to accept those manually or not. And so that's the calendar. So, and this is where the different things show up. So you can see here the different calls that have come through. You can see the different messages, etc., and you can manage that all here. So we're still pretty new with this, and there's not much actual traffic going to our website at this point. So not much happening there, but this is where you manage all of that. Now let's talk quickly about these features over here. You got money transfer. So at the moment, this supports PayPal. When we interviewed Ilan from Consolto, this is one of the things that was coming, was they were going to be integrating with Stripe, so that'll be really great. I don't really like paying PayPal's fees, and I don't really like PayPal in general, so this could be a handy feature for some people. We tend not to do it this way. Like if we were going to, initially what we do is we do a free call to find out the needs of the client with their data and analytics and conversion and pipelines and all that kind of stuff. And then what we do is, if we think there's a case there to investigate further, then we charge a $500 US one-off fee. So we send them a link, and we use Thrivecart for that. But if they had Stripe in here, we could quite easily then do that within the system, and it could be a seamless thing. And then from there, once that initial relationship is then created, then we'll quote on doing a Google Tag Manager browser, Google Tag Manager server setup. And then once that's done, then we'll look at doing data pipeline, data transformation, creating dashboards and business intelligence in general. So that's our kind of workflow, and we kick off that initial payment with a Stripe thing through Thrivecart. But it'll be great if that was in here, because we'd probably use the system instead, because we could do that on the phone. Another thing that we haven't played around with is this 3D Sense thing. Now, not useful to me because we're specifically about data pipelines. There's nothing 3D. So basically you can import a 3D image in here. I guess you need something that's formatted for 3D images. I don't know how that works. Maybe you need a CAD file or something. And then you can give people basically a product tour. Now I imagine that would be useful if you had a physical product that you were trying to demonstrate, or you had a 3D space. Maybe it's a 3D representation of a hotel room or some kind of space that you're renting out. That might be really, really useful to have a number of those images that you're able to give people virtual tours. I think that would be quite interesting. Once again, this is where you grab the widget for your site, whether that's chat, video, etc., etc. I forget which one we used. I know that I was on the chat with support for a couple of days trying to figure out how to get this going. In the end, if you're doing this through Google Tag Manager, FYI, you need this support document.write property enabled in order for it to work on your site. If you're dropping it in straight into your site, I don't know that you need this. I don't know how that works, but that was one of the things that got it going for me. Now, last thing, at the moment, this is just a browser application. Now, on the roadmap, and I know that they've already developed the application, they have a mobile application. I don't know if that's for both iOS and Android. If I were doing it, I would have done it in React Native or in Flutter. And the reason for that is then I could just deploy that to either system and it wouldn't matter. I know that they've already developed the mobile app. I know that they're testing it, and I know, I do believe, last time we interviewed Ilan, he said that is not far away. And why that would be handy is because so that you're not tethered to your desktop computer. I do a lot of work at my desktop computer, but it would be nice to be able to then, the way that this widget works is that you can turn the sound on and off. You can turn the widget on and off. So if you turn the widget off, now that widget's going to be turned off, I guess for you. Let's turn that off and have a look real quick. So I'm going to reload this page. Let's have a look here, see if it's true. No, I'm still in there. Okay, so that didn't do anything. Okay, fine. I don't know what that does. But availability, if you turn this availability off, it'll turn your availability. Now you can see here, if I can move my image around on the screen, go away, little image. You can see here now that my speech bubble has been turned off, and now I'm no longer available. So if somebody tries to call me, let's say that they try and talk, it says I'm not available, and you can set this text to whatever you want. So it says I'm not available right now, please leave a message or schedule a call. So you know, they can either do the WhatsApp, or they can do the Messenger one, or they can do the chat if they want, or they can schedule a call. And now that whole flow is taken care of. So that's Consolto. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. It's already a very good product, especially if you have a team that's doing sales or customer support. So if you haven't already got a license for this, go ahead and get one, or maybe more if your team's a bit bigger. I do think it's going to be one of those tools in the coming months and years. It's going to be highly sought after. It's already valuable. It's already useful. And once they finish some of those things that I mentioned, such as the mobile app, group conferencing, and the ability to integrate with multiple calendars and actually, like book like a boss, be able to have more granular control over the times that you're available, I think that this tool is going to have outstanding value. And like I said, it's already valuable right now. Okay, so if you found this useful, please leave a like on our YouTube video. It does help our videos to get found. Also, if you're not part of our awesome community on Facebook, join us, because we have entertaining, fun, enlightening conversations around SaaS tools, which ones are good, which ones are bad, which founders are great, which ones are a little bit sketchy. We also talk about how to grow your business, whether that's to do with advertising, marketing, PR, whatever. We're not, you know, like, we've just got some awesome people in the community. So it's a great place to make friends, and also to make valuable business connections. So see you in Saastribe. Talk to you soon.